Well, hello everyone and welcome back to Classic Gamer 74. I'm your host Anthony Gamer, and in today's episode we're going to continue on with our unit on life simulation games with probably one of the most well-known and successful franchise in the genre, and that is The Sims. The Sims was released in early 2000, and it was designed by Will Wright, who drew inspiration from the first game that we discussed in this series, that being Little Computer People. The game itself received critical acclaim, won several awards, and has been considered by most fans to be the essential or the epitome of life simulation games. In this game, you take on the lives of these characters called basically the Sims, and you live every aspect of their life, and I do mean every aspect. This game, of course, would be one of the last games that Maxis would put out. Now, Maxis is the company that was responsible for the other Sim games like SimCopter, SimCity, SimCity 2000, etc. And I believe they were bought out by EA. As time went on, more of the games would just simply say EA at the beginning. Of course, EA is well known for the sports games, but this is the game that kind of put them on the map, at least in my opinion. So without further ado, let's get into the game.
Okay, so the first thing you have to do is create the family. Now, you can go through here and you can create any type of family you want. Now, generally speaking, it's good to start off with a husband and wife, if that's your prerogative. You can make roommates. They do allow you to have homosexual relationships. So like I said, it just is up to you. So you pick the face that you like, and then you pick the body. You can pick skin color, like I said, man or woman, and then you create their personality. Recommendation: don't ever put someone down as neat, and I'll explain why a little bit later. So I've created, that's me, or the man. And done. Okay, now I'll add the next sim. Also, you can add a child, but I'll warn you that children do not grow up. They stay children forever, and they can't get jobs, and it's just more people to manage. Honestly, until you get the hang of it, I would only put 2 people per household until you get the hang of it. And see, I'm working on the person that'll be the wife. Okay. Now I'm gonna pick that family and move them in. And usually I pick this cheap house here when you first start, because again, stuff is quite expensive in here, or it can be a little overwhelming at first, and you start off with not much money. Again, another important thing: make sure that you save, and save often. That I can't stress that enough, how important it is to save often on this game. Okay, so what's next? Well, once you get the family moved in, next thing you have to do is start buying stuff for your home. Now, I've switched to another home, and I'll explain this in the next video about a trick on how to make sure that your family is financially secure. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you how to actually get the Sims to like each other, as you have a husband and wife, and pretty much it's almost like an arranged marriage, as you're throwing them in together and they have to fall in love with each other, basically. So here's a little bit of a short intro on how I did that. Okay, so this is going to be like the first few days. One of the things you have to do with the Sims here is basically get your house set up, get the companions to fall in love, and get careers for them. Finding careers is pretty easy. First thing you do, you can go on the computer, and there will be 3 jobs listed per day. And whichever job sounds good to you, that's the one that you decide on. And then you try to move up the corporate ladder at your job, whatever that is, whatever job you decide it to be. Also, newspaper comes every day. Remember those? And you can find a job in there if possible. In the meantime, in order to make sure that you live a good life, you have to build up your skills. Now, there are several different skills that you can increase. There is cooking. There is, let's see what else is there. Mechanical. And there's just all kinds of fun things that you can do to help exercise, play the piano, creativity. That's, painting, like what he's doing. And then she's learning about cooking. So these skills will help them live happy and healthy lives. Of course, it's not all work. You also can have them, you have to also make them have fun. And of course, the easy way to do that is with some toys. You can see here that I have a pool table. That really helps the happiness meter go up. And you see there you have other things to look at that you have to maintain for your sim during the course of their day. You have hunger, comfort, hygiene, bladder, energy, fun, social, and the room. In order for the Sims to stay happy, they, like I said, they have to be able to do a variety of things. And like I said, you do control every single aspect of their lives. And I do mean every. As you can kind of see there, you have to have them go to the bathroom, have them take showers, change clothes, eat, and of course work. Now, in this game, there are no cars. You can purchase cars at places like Mall of the Sims and places like that, but they have no real function. A carpool comes and picks you up for your job. So while the husband's gone, you can see that she's still studying cooking. And it's very important that you do learn to cook well, that you at least get 2 marks in cooking before you try to cook, because if you don't, chances are good you could start a fire. So, also a way to avoid the house from burning down, because sometimes fires do start, is to make sure that you put the smoke alarm, you purchase a smoke alarm and put it right above the stove. It'll automatically call the fire department. Now, earlier in the game, if you probably remember, I said that the best thing to do is not to put any neatness points. Well, that's because every time they go to the bathroom or wash the sink or do something, they're going to clean it after them, clean up. And that's something you don't really need to have them do. You can hire a maid that she'll come in and clean up the house, scrub the toilets, make the beds, all that kind of good stuff. Or you can get the servo robot. Now that comes in a later expansion. But for the first game, you can just hire a maid, or let's say for perhaps that the the character that you're playing with, one of them doesn't work. It's like a stay-home husband or wife or whatever, and you can have them clean the house. So, as I said, this is quite a fancy house. You see that I've decorated it pretty well. By purchasing the items, you can decide how fancy to make your room, because you do get a room score. You'll notice that with the sim. Make sure there's plenty of lighting, plenty of decorations. You can put the walls up or down to see what the wallpaper looks like. You can put pictures in. There's all kinds of stuff. I mean, you can pretty much buy stuff to your heart's content. And the game comes with quite a few really nice items that you can purchase for your home. And of course, like I said, remember, Watch the bladder and the hygiene, especially the bladder, because they will sometimes pee on the floor. Yeah, I've seen pee their pants. I've seen it happen. Okay. So, and I'm going into the buy thing now, and again, you can go, they're listed through different rooms and different types. Another good thing I just bought there is the alarm clock. Make sure you buy that so that your sim will wake up in the morning so they can go to work. Also, make sure they get plenty of sleep, just like a regular person. Okay, so, and they censor it when she goes to the bathroom, and now she's going to take a shower. They censor that too. I believe there's a patch you can get so it uncensors them. I don't know why you'd want to, but anyway. So that's pretty much the start day, how you start off. Now, they also, if you haven't noticed, that they also speak a weird language. It sounds kind of like gibberish. Like right now, she's practicing for a speech. And you can see like this helps one of her scores increase. And when they're talking, there's no real consistency with their speaking. I've tried to figure it out, but you can kind of tell what they're saying because they'll have a cloud above their head and it tells you what they're, talking about, but there is no the language itself is, it's inconsistent. So don't try learning to speak Sim. Also, besides decorating the house, you can build, if you wish, take away rooms, knock down walls, expand the house. I mean, it's pretty much up to you. It's to the limit of your imagination and also to the money. While she's up there practicing, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping here, and I'll keep talking with a few more things. Also, your neighbors. You probably noticed at the beginning of the game that in the original Sims, there are 10 lots in this neighborhood. Now, you're probably not going to play with every single house, with every household. You may play with a couple of the homes and the owners, and you do have to interact with your neighbors, become friends with them. You could actually have affairs between neighbors. Oh yeah, it can be like a total soap opera. But to advance in your career, you have to make friends and maintain the friendships as well. But like I said, the first and most important thing is to have a relationship between the people in your home. That's the most important thing. So, all right. And I think I will show how, and there she went up with a charisma point by practicing her speech. She's not employed at the moment, but when she is ready to get a job, every little bit of increasing her skills will help her, and all your other Sims as well. Okay, so here's a little bit of a tutorial on how you get the Sims that live together to become friends, lovers, etc. Mostly, of course, it's communication. That's the biggest thing, is that they have to communicate with each other. Now, I just had these two roommates move into this house, and they're going to become friends. Move slowly, just like you would with real relationships. Watch the points. You can check on how they feel about each other. You can see right there relationships. So, some people click better than others. Others don't click at all, no matter how hard you try. But it's important to talk quite a bit until you get to a certain point. Tell jokes, compliment, later on, hug, kiss, depending on where you want their relationship to go. So check this out and watch these two become friends.
Foi. Se uma mãe que não foi, mãe. Tu não pode ter. Uma mãe que não vai. Eu pode ver. Mm-hmm. Have a. No, that's the one guy. Oh, what do I? Why, no one, what do I know? Oh, what is no way in? You want what? What's on? The way oh, that was something? Ooh, what did you see? Oh, what a double done. But Jovan, flying down. Oh, what was someone known? Oh, I was. Oh. 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 Давай. Go on, voilà. Wait, la one little little oh, Asna.
Not long after you've moved in and got settled, or not quite got settled, some of your neighbors will come by to visit you. Usually, the first people to come by are the Goth family. They're NPCs that came with the game, and it's your responsibility to try to become friends with them. The best way is the same as you did with your roommates. Talk, compliment, hug, etc. But be careful sometimes hugging somebody in front of their significant other, because that can actually start a fight. Another good way to bond with your neighbors is to make dinner for them. You guys can sit at the table and talk and get to know each other. And again, like I said, it's very important to maintain your friendships. Like I said, Sims are sociable creatures, and the best way for them to move up the corporate ladder and be happy is to have as many friends as possible. One other thing that stands out about The Sims is the music. The background music is just amazing. I love it. I actually used to play it because it's got an ambient feel to it. I would play it when I was teaching to help students, with studying, and it really works. The music is great. Now, there is some music from the previous games, like if you are like me and you loved the music from Streets of SimCity, that music has been brought back. However, they're not singing in English. They're singing in that gibberish Sim language that, they speak in this game. But I'll discuss music a little bit later on. So this is a good introduction to show you guys what it takes in order to get your Sims going. So in our next episode, we will talk about the expansions. There were 7 of them to help you do more with your Sims. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Classic Gamer 74. If you did, let me know by giving me a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to click that little bell icon down there so you'll be notified when I upload new episodes. And until next time, this is Anthony Gamer wishing you all a great week. See you guys soon. Bye!